Welcome to everybody to this particular roundtable. Today we're talking about body image, and I feel today if we have so many women in the fitness industry getting a results and then just to end up losing it a month after to a year and a half time after, and this has been proven for 95% of the cases, it does have to be attributed in part of you not really being okay with the body image you have. Would you be okay with the body image you have and a couple of other things going into place? That wouldn't be the case, okay? So also I decided to do this particular topic because I see that keep getting data and proof. In fact, from the Dove campaign, and I know those of you that know what I'm talking about, maybe they are very clear with that. The cream, the Dove cream and everything, they did a campaign and in Australia, and 95% or about 90 something percent of women, they were chosen to go in a door that said, I feel beautiful, versus a door that I feel average. Average mean when we say to a woman, you look average, you know exactly what you feel, right? It means that you don't look pretty. So 90 or more percent of women, they went on that door, the average door. So whether or not they did it because they felt beauty is something different, whether or not they did it because they felt that they don't feel or they're not to the standards, that means that they don't live 100% happy with themselves, and we see it all the time. We see it in this program. We see it even more on the marketplace. We see it all the time. We see about we've been targeted every single day in any culture, in any place, in any country, that basically like standard of women should look like in certain ways. And, we have some examples here. We spoke about with Helena, for example, with Pilar, that I don't see her here, but we talk about in some Latin countries, even more so than in Switzerland. They have a high standard of what a woman should look like or what beauty is, right? 100 years ago, it was very different. A woman with more curves would have probably categorized as beautiful. Today, I don't want to say today. I want to say maybe 10 years ago, the very skinny model, it was probably believed to be quote unquote better. And then, today we have this idea of going to the gym and looking muscular, and this is almost the new sexy. But again, we always have to ask ourselves, in according to who? Because there is going to be a person that is going to be, in case it should be in this case, you're probably going to be your husband or your boyfriend or whoever like you feel like you want to be attracted to, that might or should, believe that right now you are that particular person already, that you're beautiful, that you're sexy, that you're pretty, that you're worth, right? And again, there is going to be several things or several topics that we can say why why you don't feel yourself beautiful, and or why do you feel like you have a clock when it comes to let's get to a destination because I want to get to where I need to be so I can feel confident about myself. One thing is, of course, this idea of social pressure, which I just described right now, according to standards, or people judging, you will not feel confident, right? The other thing that we see all the time is like you believing according to something that happened in the past, or you used to be, or what you could be and you are not, then it allows you to feel again not confident, right? Then the other things that we have this idea of perfectionism all the time. So we need to be perfect. We need to be according to who knows. We can get much better. So I'm gonna be hard with myself. I'm not gonna love myself. So it comes down to usually almost like and funny enough, we have to dig this out. Me, Ira knows exactly what I'm talking about. Georgia as well. We have to dig this information out of every single one of you when you do experience this, and we say, why don't you feel confident? And like it always come down, and again, the courageous one are here today, and the second most courageous one are in the program, and they're still grinding and they're still getting what they need to get. Then we have some people, and I said it multiple times, we got about 90 to 95% success rate. in the beginning, the first 6 to 10 weeks. Then we see them in the fitness industry. Here we see it a little bit too as well. We see them drop like flies, you know, and you ask them, okay, why do you feel like you can go alone? Oh no, because I kind of got results now. I'm kind of like busy with other things, or I cannot do. And it's like, did you get to the result that you want? No, but I know how to do it now. You're just missing the whole point. You're not here for knowing how to count calories. You're here that if you see a kilo on top of the scale that is more, and you don't feel confident about yourself, you need to understand why don't you feel confident about yourself. Because I can guarantee you, not only looking at your peers in this program, but looking at other things out there, there is going to be somebody that weighs 5 kilos more than you. They dress out with confidence. They carry around with good posture. They feel confident about themselves. So what is the data of you not feel confident about yourself? It will come down to always about you feeling, going to a place, to a results that you can feel good enough about yourself, so you don't have to feel you don't have to compensate with waste to be mean with yourself, because that's what exactly is going to come down to. You know, we ask ourselves, what is confidence? I keep asking, you know, several people, and you should, if nothing else, have enough data to say where this thing started. Okay, so your lack of confidence, or your lack of happiness, or your lack of self-esteem is invisible, is an invisible force that you allow yourself to feel. Today, yesterday, the other day, the other week, or you're used to, compared to how you feel now. You know, we had this conversation with Marisa yesterday, and she said, now I feel really good about myself. You know, I posted a couple of posts today in the community, this week in the community, because I wanted to see your answers. So we see this very often, repeating the same pattern, you know, according to media, according to the social pressure, I feel beautiful because of this, so it's always the same pattern, like that. People that expect you to feel in a certain way, or the system or the standards of what you should feel, it doesn't really reflect what you feel. And then, like, you allow yourself to feel not easy about yourself or unconfident about yourself, and you want to spot what other people are doing, and you want to spot about who can I compare myself to? Because should you find somebody that you can compare to yourself to, you're gonna feel much better about yourself, because you're not alone feeling like that. Yeah. So confidence, or lack of confidence, or lack of self-esteem, it really comes down to collecting data and say, okay, I can say that I'm not confident because of, you know, something that happened in the past, some breakup that I had, some comment that I have from my boyfriend, from my husband, from my friends, that tells me that I'm putting on some weight, that tease me about my belly, something that my childhood, right? Or like, was I ever abused? Or, you know, my mom said something to my father, and he said something back to her that made me feel like, as a woman, I'm not worth, right? I mean, these things has to be very much defined, because otherwise you're going to end up in a place that is almost like saying, if I would be in a desert island, I would not work out for my results, and I wouldn't do it because nobody are here to see it. You're basically doing things for other people. You want to improve this confidence for other people, or for somebody to notice, or for you to get more. I don't know if you're a person that posts on picture on Facebook or Instagram to get more likes, right? Like, you want to get noticed by people, and you want somebody to notice your change, your transformation. So if you're here, like, we see Helena here, we see Connie, we see Marisa, we see Suzanne, we see Laura, you know, that Mimi, that transforms so much about themselves. You know, everybody's pointing that out, right? They talk to them and they say, how did you do it? What is this magic diet that you're doing? What is this magic program? I want to do it too, right? And forgive me if I forget anybody. All of you are here, definitely are a part of that group. But again, what would happen, you know, Marisa, Mimi, Connie, Hannah, if, like, you did all this work and you did it for yourself, potentially, but nobody would notice that. Nobody would pay attention and would say, you know, oh, Anna, like, I haven't seen you for a month or 2 or 3, but you know, how is your family, by the way? Nobody noticed about your change, right? Would you be okay with that? Like, would you be, is almost equal to a desert island. It's almost equal to winning the lottery, but you cannot tell anybody that you did. So it's like saying, if I get a good news, right? But if I cannot share it with anybody or nobody notices it, is it really happening, right? And this is a good analogy to make you understand that if the answer is that you will get bothered by nobody not noticing, you're not really, you don't have a confidence problem. You might have a body image problem, but you definitely don't want to change or transform for yourself. You want to do that so somebody can notice, so you can get a most validation, so you can get more security that something is changing in your life. And this is why we see this all the time. You know, you might look in the group. Some of you were here before. We are cleaning up the group. I'm exclusively allowing you from people that graduate to go to the other program, from people that needs to stay here. And for the new people that come in, we reject about 90% of them because we want to make sure we get the right people in here. And you might not notice the people missing. You know, we usually don't kick them out. It's because they leave, and it's because they say, oh, you either haven't fixed a problem, and you say, you're going to mask it, and you're going to say, okay, cool, so I'm going to find something, meaning like I'm going to think about it later, right? And again, you're not addressing the real problem. You're addressing the information problem. You're not addressing the real problem. You know, who do you have to become? This, by the way, goes for the new people as well. They're going to see the recording. I have no idea why they're not here. You know, there is a bunch of new people that should be here right now. They should have started posting. And if your motivation is not enough to kick you in your butt in the first 6 weeks, chances are like you're not really here for the right reasons. You know, you need to, I don't, by all means, I don't say you have to accept yourself who you are. Never was the message. The message is you have to love yourself enough to change for the right reasons. Not change because a comment, not change because you feel like it should be a good trend to do in 2019. Not change because, you know, something that happened before. We have this, after talking about confidence, you know, later on, I'm going to give you an exercise that you can pretty much use to anything that we're talking about here. That goes with goes with the confidence, but also go with the binge eating mechanism or whatever you're using. Like, let's say if you're a person that drinks or you're a person that smokes, anything that you know that is pretty much messing up your habits, which it doesn't allow you to get results, that's something that you can practice and doing with this. You know, before that, I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about perfectionism. You know, many people do not take action or do not get to a result or do not stick to a results because, you know, they feel like they have to have the perfect circumstances for them to either do the work or start. And again, perfectionism is one of those things that the question that follows that is like, you will say yourself, oh, I need something to be perfect before I can start, you know. But then again, when is ever perfect? I mean, when can we say that we're a perfect human being, right? We all look different, you know. Some are technically, let's say, quote unquote, more in shape than other. And you look at me, you look at maybe Georgia, look at Tire, look at the coach, or you look at other people in the marketplace and you say, I would like to maybe be like them. I would like to have these habits acquired. I would like to look like them, you know. And again, we are very far from being perfect. We are very far from not only being perfect with the body, we're very far from being perfect with the habits. To be saying, you know, I cannot start because I need to be, the circumstances to be perfect. It's like saying, I'm not going to take action until that I know that I'm certain that something is going to happen. And so that then I don't waste my time. Okay. And then, you know, what happens naturally, there is no action, there is no results. There is no long-term results. Might be a results for a week, but then there is no long-term results. You know, perfectionism is probably one of the things that's stopping anybody from getting any results, because, you know, if it was that you could take one action and you can do this thing perfectly, and then you get to a result, everybody would get results. You just train that action. There is 60 action in a month that you must do within your workouts. within your nutrition, within your mindset, just to get better. So it's not about how can we be perfect, how can we just keep growing, and how can we become better. So this idea of practicing something versus let's just do this thing better, or let's just do this thing and this is what I should do, or versus no, I'm not going to do it because I feel like, no, I heard that low carb is not good. I know in my body, I try for about a week, maybe a month, it's not good. So that low carb thing is stupid. Or no, what this guy is saying about sugar, why should you eat sugar even when you work out? Now that's dumb. I'm not gonna yeah, it's totally not my thing. So I need to just have everything listed out to be perfect first. Yeah. And again, should it be one thing, it will be very, very easy. It's a list of 1,000 things which comes to getting a results into health and getting better. And the question is, when are you really stop growing? So after 10 years 20 years that I'm doing this, like I'm still learning every day how to improve training, how to improve the form. You always have, like, we live in an era that we are really bombarded by new information every day. We don't live in an era of education anymore. We live in an era of information. Everything that you're going to learn in school, given the fact that it's better or more skilled than what you will learn on the internet, it's probably 3 years old already from every study that you read. So the thing is, like, you need to, whether scientific or not scientific, to be able to extrapolate information, to try it, to test it, and to say if this pretend to your particular situation in general. And that's why we are here as coaches. We're here to give you approaches according to what the logic says, to what you should do. And then, like, you, according to what we see, according to our experience, should that work for you? That's successful assessment. And then we can improve. Should that not work for you, we need to change it. That's why, all these apps are still very present in the marketplace, but are kind of like dying off. That's why personal trainers, there are trainers and trainers, but still, if you don't level out and if they do not understand what you do on that hour, after the 23 hours after the day that you train with them, they probably start questioning themselves, is my training really effective? Because it's not about the training, it's about, what happens after. So perfectionism is a word that you need to forget. It's something that you really need to forget. The body image, and again, there are 3 things that I feel stops people from results, and one is very ingrained into body image. Number 1 is, I'm gonna touch that first. If you still see whether or not you're in this program, for the long haul, or you need to lose 1 kilo left, but if you feel still getting to a result, like I said 1,000 times, is 50%. 50% is maintaining the results. If you feel you're looking for a destination and you don't allow yourself to see the process and you don't allow yourself to enjoy it, is because you either don't care about working out, or you have a body image that you have like a clock in your head, and you say, if I don't get there by the summertime, I just cannot feel good about wearing my bikini. So you don't wear your bikini with pride, you're not happy, and as soon as you get there, which I can understand, for a good part of you, I can say by the summer 2019, you're gonna wear whatever you want. But when you get there, and should you get, God forbid, hurt for some reason, you're gonna gain a few kilo, you're gonna start feeling horrible about yourself because you have not addressed that part. So that's number 1. Body image. If you need to address it, you're going to need to follow guidelines. You're gonna need to talk with us. You're gonna need to talk with Tire, with myself, with Georgia, with any specialist that we might acquire for that particular topic. If you believe to have one, do not be silent. I still get people after 1 month, they're here, they tell me, I have a bulimia problem, I have this, and I didn't say anything because I felt I was alone. Like, you're not alone in here. Like, you're here because, like, if you cannot address, and she's not here, she knows who I'm talking about, I'm not gonna make names, but she wanted to say, I need to beat my demons, I need to stop this so I can beat my demons and come back. It's like, if you haven't done the work with us, probably you're not gonna do it by yourself. So whatever got you here, if you are not yet uncovered that, do. Just talk about it. Just let us know. We're here to help. Number two is this idea of motivation. More you look for motivation, less you're building any vision, less you're building any consistency, and less you care about what you need to be doing. Okay. On the long haul, we did some work last time with Helena. We did some work with some other VIP clients about it. We like to do it with Instagram. We like to compare yourself to celebrities or to whoever you want to achieve. And I always say that play the card of you taking whoever you idolize, a old version of yourself, if it's improved from now, is good. Any celebrity, anybody that you can say, what would they do? Not only what would they look, what would they do in this particular case? Or what can I do to keep the same routines they are, right? Because if you keep asking yourself about it, and you keep comparing yourself, but comparing yourself on the right ways, probably it's going to be useful. Because again, I always use it for myself. If I say I want to look like somebody successful, and I know this person spends thousands of dollars to advertise, and I say why my message is not getting out there, chances are I should do the same thing, right? If I want to get more in shape, and I know that I see on Instagram somebody that goes, how the stories right now, they show, okay, I'm going to go run every morning. And they go run every morning, and I want to feel like I am 10% body fat. And I don't, and I say to myself, no, you shouldn't be like that because you're not doing that. It doesn't have to be real data, but in your mind, it has to be something that they should do or they would do. And I would do the same. So the question is, what would I do to improve that? Yeah. And this is basically, you build a vision. So we talk, just got kind of I drifted off a bit. So we said the other time, with Elena, her vision was to have an amazing body so she can be a good mom for the future. So every of you are going to start building a vision even better. The funny thing is the vision always improves and always become more defined as you go forward. My vision after a year and a half I'm doing this is even more clear right now. Every day should be clearer. And when you do that, you go from inspiration, from motivation to discipline. You build habits, and then you love it. You get passionate about it, and then is when, would that something happen to you, you're just gonna see it. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna just put the pause button right now, and I'm gonna really restart later with my health. And nothing is it's not this idea of doing something versus not doing something. It's this idea of learning and growing and becoming something new, somebody new. And the last but not least is, of course, see health as a skill. From most people, not in this program, thank God, not in this program. For most people in general, they would just start anything and they would quit. And things do never work. That's why the industry is worth $700 billion for weight loss, not for fitness, for weight loss, because they keep selling you new stuff, because they know that, that's the only thing that they can do. They cannot sell you something that works for you to stick with, because you're too busy quitting. You keep quitting, you keep starting something else, you keep quitting, you get, we're talking to Marisa the other day, some of her friends that was here, it's she's getting results and she quits. And it's how are you quitting when you're getting results? Just stick to something that you're getting results. I could understand when you don't get results, but you want because doing the work, which as simple as might be, is difficult. Eat clean, improving posting, seeing videos, going to the gym, going to walks. That's the trick, ladies. That's exactly what the trick is. That's a magic hack. There is no pineapple diet or something that there is magic properties of food. There is only doing the work. And the one that getting results from here, they know. Yeah. So it's about uncovering what you mean. And again, when you see health as a skill, you see it's the same analogy of you going to salsa dancing. I used that before, or playing an instrument. And if you play an instrument or you go salsa dancing, and if you've never done it, you probably suck the first time. If you get very upset with yourself, and you get maybe very embarrassed too, and you never go back, it's the same analogy of you jumping into a diet and jumping off. You never allow yourself to practice. You never allow yourself to get better. So health must be seen like something that you can get better from, something you can improve, something that you want to grow with, okay? The exercise I was talking about, and this is goes well for a mechanism of compensations such as binge eating, but also goes well with confidence, or people that smokes, people that drinks. There is going to be a behavior you have in your life right now that is preventing you from achieving results, and that goes very well with people that cannot plan, or people that say, oh, I'm a procrastinator, or people that say, like, it doesn't have to be something tangible. I want you to, like, you take this behavior and you say to yourself, because the worst thing, I'm going to make an example with cookies. This works really well with cookies or with drinks, right? So if you say, for me, this thing is kind of important, but I'm going to do it today, then I'm not going to do it ever again. Like, you know what that means, right? Like a week after, you're going to do it again. And with eating, pizza or tiramisu or drinking a drink, whatever, like you said 1,000 times just to end up doing it again. So people that ask me, what do you need to do to get results? Some of them, they word it different, but what do you need to do to get results? I always say, you need to change your perspective, how you see things around you and how you see these results. And then they say, oh, yeah, that's cool. But what about the carbs? What do I need to eat? And it's like, you just missed the whole thing again. So listen, you take this cookie and you say, I'm not going to eat this cookie again. That means that the cookie is very important to you. Versus saying, every time that you're going to have this cookie again, it goes on these big pictures around you. I'm going to allow myself to practice. From now to a month from now, or let's be conservative. Let's say that it's, like, say 2 months from now, it's 8 weeks. Let's say you do this once a week. That's almost like 8 times you do it anyway. Yeah. So you can do this, eat cookies like 1 time a week, and it's 8 times you doing it. You can do that with no purpose and eating it, or you can do it playing a conversation with yourself. And you're going to list positive behaviors about what you need to do. I mean, what do you have this cookie right now? And why is it important for you to have this cookie? And it's going to come up a list such as, oh, because it's yummy, because it's tasty, because I'm stressed today, maybe because, in case for the drinking, I can give you an example. It's like, I feel more relaxed after I have a drink. So you're going to come up with maybe 2, maybe 3, maximum 4 positive things. Then you're going to list the positive aspects of not having the cookie, right? Such as, you never want to do this, by the way, on the opposite. You never want to say, I'm not going to feel bloated, because it's not feeling something, or like it's almost like a negative behavior. So you don't want to kind of like put you down anyway. But you're going to say, I'm going to sleep better. I'm going to be more performant. I'm going to be feeling, better about things in general. I'm going to be feeling more clear-minded, So you're going to come up with, by nature, probably 5 to 10 things. And those things are going to technically be more, it should be giving you the knowledge that, that's what it should take place. So you should not eat it versus eat it, right? Now, you're still going to eat it. By the way, if you eat it, you don't want to feel bad about yourself, but you want to make this conversation longer. So you start today, you make this conversation 2 minutes. Anyway, you're going to eat about 8 times this cookie in these 2 months anyway. So you're just going to make this useful right now. You're going to make this conversation 2 minutes today, 3 minutes next week, 4 minutes. If you get to 10, 15, 20 minutes by week number 8 or 10, right now, you might not have the cookie, or you might have it, but it might improve, and you might learn something about yourself. The same thing with confidence. You might find out what's the real problem about. Okay, why don't I feel confidence? If I'm not going to allow myself to feel confidence, I'm going to feel my shit. I'm going to snap at my kids. I'm going to probably fight with my husband. Nobody really is going to understand me, or whatever the case might be. If I allow myself to feel good about myself, what are the positive things? What can I list? Right? Let's make an example about not planning, or like say I'm a procrastinator, or anyway, like I'm not gonna be able to do it. Cool. Where are you gonna be in 5 weeks from now, or 10 weeks? Let's see, where am I gonna be? If every week I know that I should work out, I don't have time to work out, how can I make time, right? If I do make time, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna feel good, even though I would not have worked out. I'm going to feel like a winner. I'm going to do something different than I've done in the past 3, 4, 5 months. What if I don't do it? What's going to happen? See, that case is almost like the opposite. It's like you listing things like, you know, by logic what you should and should do. Then you're still going to allow yourself to fail, but the difference is going to be that you're not going to feel like a loser, or you're not going to feel like you're not progressing, or you're not going to feel like, you know, this thing. You're changing your perspective. You're not, you see how this is very far from counting calories now. You know, by all means, you're here to learn those things. You're here to learn what calorie means. You're here to learn, you know, what mindset you should have. You're here to learn how workouts progressive, or like how can you progress your workout. You're here to learn all these things, but you need to improve those things. You know, the most effective, you know, weight loss or results kind of like exercise is going to sound very, very funny, but like it's really, really mindfulness. Because like unless you don't master that, you know, like the other things are useless. Like the question that I ask before everybody started the program, all the time I ask, how many times did you lose weight in the past just to regain it back? And it always is, the answer is at least 2 times to 5 times. In fact, there is women like diets in US, well, in general, you know, at least 5 times a year. This is proven. So that means that people don't have a problem losing weight, but they have a problem maintaining the results. And this is because you do not change your perspective, because you keep letting yourself go to a point, and then you allow things that happens into your life to take over the control. And this is why, you know, you don't feel in control with yourself. And this is why results cannot only stays with people that are really transforming, and not before and after picture transformation. I'm talking about people that, I hate to use the same example all the time, but if we use Marissa, people that she has 10 minutes off for work, she goes walk, she finishes, she works out, you know, and like very, very, very clear things that she left her group of friends because they didn't want to eat the same thing she's eating. So you say, I'm more important than hang out with the people that are going to give me crap all the time to eat. We are the addition of the 5 people we hang out the most with. I'm fortunate enough. So you want to get your environment to be as positive as possible. You want to get your knowledge base better. You want to get the environment good. And you want to make sure that you are focusing on the person you're becoming versus the person or the things that you need to do. And that also, of course, mean that if you do have a image problem and you're aware, you might be aware, you might not be aware, you want absolutely 100% figure out where did it come from and what can I do about it. Because if you don't figure out that, you're always going to grind. You're always going to be like in this idea, oh, I need to get to results. Now that I am to results, what am I going to do now to maintain it? What the hell am I going to do when my body adapts? Am I going to always have to hit 1200 calories? Because when some of you are going to get 15%, they're going to need to hit very low for a little bit. Then I'm going to say, go back to maintenance level. Let's do that with mindfulness. Let's go from 18, and then you do a couple of refeeds. You go to 2000. You're going to need to stay with a month and a half like that, just so you can drive up your metabolism. Then you get 1 kilo on the scale, and you freak out about it because, not for the kilo, but because you don't know what's happening. And it's because you did all this work until there, then you get there and you're not okay with what's happening, and you're asking, oh, I thought it was going to be different than that. And still this behind your monkey in the head is still talking about, oh, what's my body image? Where is it going? Am I losing my body? Am I losing all these results that I got, so that I fought so hard to get, right? So this is very important. There is these 3 magic things. We did a presentation about it, going out to the public, because I want to attract only those kind of women. You know, improve your health. See health as a skill. Stop seeing a destination. Love the process. Fix your body image. Number 3, stop looking for motivation, because motivation, as you know, that you're here fighting so hard for the results. If you wait motivation, you know, you're not a linear equation. Your body is going to react to us today. It's not going to react next week. It's going to react in a month. We have people here fighting for a month. Nothing happens. And then the second month, you lose 6 kilos all at once. We had this happen before. Yeah. So ladies, this is the presentation about the body image. there is some work that you must do. What I want you to do, we have less than a minute on this recording left. I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to have you come in. I'm not going to record when we chat together. I want you to all to come back in. I want you to ask questions. I want you to, if you want to practice this thing with me, we can do it. I can explain more extensively. This got recorded. You guys not talking. Now that you come and talk, I'm not going to record. So you can share whatever you want. Thanks for the time right now. And then if you really want the value from this, come back in and ask questions. I'll see you in about a minute. Just click on this one more time on the same recording, on the same link. Thank you so much, ladies, and thank you for attending.